So, because of the foundation's help and the devotions of patients and families who've come out for clinical trials, we have 3 FDA-approved drugs for fixing the wounds on their skin. However, epidermolysis bullosa, or EB, they also have internal wounds on their eyes, in their throat, in their intestinal system. So, a cure for all of the cells is definitely on the horizon because we've shown the proof of concept on the skin, and the next stage is really to correct all the cells. What it is for me is I personally worked on this for 15 years at Stanford University. We've worked on it for 25 years. So for it to be celebrated, to have music, it's really to have the world see how science can improve people's lives, and to have Eddie Vedder and the music. It's a celebration. It's a party for science. It's a party for the families and the patients. And I hope it's a party for science because I hope the world knows how important science is and how we need to continue to invest in science.
When Matt and I first met Eli Meyer 7 years ago, he's one of the people who are featured in the film. He's a young man with EB. When we met him so many years ago, we looked at each other and we said, we have to do something. We have to use our skills, our craft to help find a cure for EB. And to be able to see all these people rallying around a rare disease that has meant so much to us for so long really is a dream come true because it means that we can hopefully impact more people and inspire more people to come together for a cure. When we put the film together, our main goal was to shine a light on the EB community, to introduce people to the extraordinary community that comes together and rallies around the children who every day live with the suffering of EB, the incredible doctors, the scientists, the researchers. But when we talk about what we want people to leave with, it's more than just an introduction. We want people to understand that hope is wonderful, but we need to take it another step. We can't just leave with, that was a very hopeful film. It was hopeful, but what are we going to do about it? So we want people to act. We want people to take us across the finish line. It's not often that you can rally around a cause that has a finish line. Well, Jill and Ed Vedder are the most fantastic, supportive humans you can imagine. And as the co-founders of EBRP, they were instrumental to bringing this film to life and having Ed's solo shows as kind of the heartbeat of the film is really, again, just part of the magic of this experience. Yeah, so in 2023, there was a summit in Seattle where we brought together researchers, patients, scientists, doctors, families. For the first time ever, really, it was a monumental summit about curative medicine and EB. And as part of that summit experience, there were 2 solo shows that Ed did over a couple of nights at Benaroya Hall, and that really serves as the backdrop to the film. And like I said, really the heartbeat of the film.
It means everything. It's like been the privilege of my life to tell this story about this rare disease, but I think most importantly it's about a rare community. And when you meet someone with EB, you'll do whatever you can to help move the needle on having a better end game for them. And so having a platform like Tribeca and having the film premiere here means so much to this community because they feel seen, and so I think for me success is people walking away from this feeling hope, and in a world that's so divided that you can actually come together and make tangible change and tangible difference for people. Right, so 6 years ago I met a young boy who's in the film named Eli Meyer, and he lives with junctional EB. It's one of the most devastating types of EB, and I was making a youth empowerment show, and we found this story of Eli and his sister because people were staring at him. He has these wounds on his skin, and they started this campaign called Come Say Hi. So instead of staring at Eli, just come say hi to Eli, and we'll tell you about this disease we're living with. And he changed my life. After I met him, I was like, what can I do to help change this, from an unfortunate outcome for most. And so I found out the Vedders were involved, and with a group of families, they started a research partnership shortly before. And then, it was like, let's do what we can. We started telling stories, and then I didn't think, 6 years later, we would have a film at Tribeca. So my favorite part has been just the process of getting to know the families, getting to know the scientists, getting to know the philanthropists that are like driving this change, getting to know Rockstar and his wife who are like moving mountains to make this, a better outcome. I think it's been easy because every decision we have made making the film has had the EB community in mind. So whether that's Ed or his wife Jill, or the organization EB Research Partnership, everyone's had the same idea of like, let's put these families and researchers up front, show everyone how amazing they are, and that we can actually make a difference to and cure the disease.
EB stands for epidermolysis bullosa, and children with EB are often called butterfly children, hence the butterfly, because their skin is as fragile as the wings of a butterfly. So from the moment they're born, it's a genetic disease. Things that we take for granted, having a glass of water, sleeping comfortably, become daily challenges. And because their skin is so fragile, with the slightest bump it can tear off, it can be very life-threatening. From birth, life expectancy can be up to 30 years old. And it's a challenging life that involves bleach baths and hours-long bandage change every single day. But, when this organization started, those families that go through those challenges every single day didn't have options, didn't have hope. There was very little research being done. Because of this organization and the community and the team involved, we've gone from 2 clinical trials to 50 clinical trials, 160 projects funded in 20 countries, and most importantly, we now have 3 FDA approvals achieved in the last 2 years alone. So when this concert was filmed, right before the first FDA-approved treatment, when the movie is premiering right here at Tribeca, last month we had the 3rd FDA approval. So it's a challenging disease. It's a devastating disease, but there's more hope and promise than there's ever been before. So for an organization like ours, having a documentary that showcases our story means everything. And Matt and I have known each other for 8 years, so when we knew Eddie was going to put on a concert and Jill and Ed wanted to bring it to their hometown in Seattle, we thought, who would be the best person to capture this story? And not only was it an immediate yes, it was an immediate, it's got to be Matt Finland, because he's built the trust of the community. These are challenging stories to tell with delicacy, and he does it so perfectly. So, when you're a foundation, regardless whatever your mission is, it's a constant battle and a struggle and a fight to be heard, to give voice to the voiceless. Tribeca and the Tribeca Festival has given us the opportunity to take our mission to the world, to take our platform for the world, and not only learn about the EB community and the progress and hope and change that we're delivering, but also provide a model for the 400 million people on the planet with a rare disease that they can be inspired by and feel part of the story and feel that they're seen and they're heard. So if it weren't for Tribeca giving us this stage and this theater and this platform, I can't say that we'd have as much momentum and acceleration as we do today. Oh, Ed is the best person in the whole world. Ed and Jill are so amazing, and it's interesting, there's so many celebrity-driven causes. What I want people to understand is when they commit to something like this, they are in it every single day, from meeting with patients and families to going into the hospitals to learning about the science to attending every board meeting to driving the strategy and driving the chain. They are so rare because of their involvement, their dedication, their commitment. They show up time after time after time, and they've stuck with this. And quite frankly, the progress that we've seen in EB, the momentum where we sit today, and what's so critical for us moving forward would not be possible without Jill and Eddie Vedder. So our goal is to cure EB by 2030. Again, when we started 10 years ago, there was nothing. We have 50 clinical trials, 3 FDA-approved treatments, and we're at the forefront of gene editing and gene therapy. The thing about EB, as difficult and challenging as it is, it's caused by one gene mutation. So as gene editing and gene therapies rapidly expand, EB becomes a prime target because not only is it one gene mutation, but it's observable on the surface of the skin. So research that we're funding right now has the potential to be curative. Our mission is to accelerate that as quickly as possible into the hands of patients.
It feels very good, and I feel like if I go to New York City next month, people are gonna know us and the other partakers in the film. It's my second time, but I went when I was like 4 years old, I think. So I was pretty young. Probably, I'm happy that we get to spread awareness of EB, and that we're gonna be in a documentary, and the documentary is gonna teach people more about it. And some people aren't even don't even know what EB is.
You're right.
EB is when the skin tears off, like a tight hug could like make it shear off. And it causes a lot of wounds. And doing daily activities could be hard, such as going to the bathroom. Like we need help with that, and like
It can make everything pretty hard, right, and painful.
and we have to wear bandages so we don't get hurt.
What the process is as far as being supporter for EB. I mean, I think it just starts with learning about the condition and hearing from the people who are affected. So, hearing from their stories and what their lives are like, I think this the first step, and, we're going to hear about that in the documentary. And then I think it's just reaching out to see how you can get involved, whether it's, donating towards the cause, supporting research, or just sharing with your friends and your family that this condition exists and that there's innocent, wonderful people who are being affected by this, and we need more treatments. So, I mean, pain is the biggest one. I mean, basically, if you think about anything that you do with your environment, basically you're using your skin for everything that you're doing, whether it be getting dressed, brushing your teeth, eating, swallowing, going to the bathroom, sitting down, getting up, you're all using your skin for that. And if those areas of your skin have open wounds, painful wounds, then all of that is painful. So you're talking about people who, like my daughter who's 10 years old, or babies, it's every part of their day might be painful. It might be difficult for them. And that goes on every single day until we can find a treatment, more treatments, and a cure. So, yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm good friends with Ed and Jill, and years ago when they first started, I don't want to say a little over 10 years ago, they had told me what they were doing, and then I got involved to see what EB was all about, and the struggle that the kids go through and the struggle that the families go through, and I was like, I got to get involved. I got to get involved, and I've been involved for a while now, and just to be involved with. The fact that all the doctors that are researching now, and all the money that Ed and Jill and everybody has raised, and the fact that we feel like a cure is right around the corner, I think that's the biggest thing about being a part of this, is that if enough people come together and there's enough resources, you can get people together and you can really fight to cure something and really change the world. Really, it's incredible. You know what? I think the greatest thing about this is awareness. I think awareness, I think sometimes with a rare disease like this, people don't know that this is even going on, that the kids and families have this kind of struggle. So I hope this documentary brings awareness for people to continue to help us out, and so that we can get this cure as soon as possible. Well, Tribeca's got, this is legendary to be here, you know what I mean? And I think everyone knows what being at Tribeca means, especially to have a film here. So, this is the World Series and the Super Bowl of films, and we're very grateful to be here.
Yeah, it's been a really long journey from when we started to where we are now, and having 3 FDA-approved treatments just in the last 2 years. When we started, there was nothing, and people, we said that EB used to be called the worst disease you've never heard of, and as we've been saying, it's the worst disease we will find a cure for. So I'm excited to share the family stories. I'm so proud of their bravery and being so vulnerable to share these stories, and I think it's going to be incredible. It's always been kind of hard to explain and for people to really get what EB is, and so I think we did a really beautiful job, or Matt Finland did, sharing these stories so people can really see and feel what these kids go through and their parents.
Symptoms of EB, their skin is not connected. Any sort of shearing, and it comes off, and that infects all their skin on their body, including their eyes, their mouth, their GI tract. So the blisters happen, and they become chronic wounds that are this big open, that do not heal forever. Every day we bandage Miley to keep her protected, and also to treat her wounds. It takes about 2.5 hours to do a bath and get dressed, and her life is greatly affected. It's hard to play, go to school. It really sucks.
But with one of, Vyjuvik, and one of the first FDA-approved treatment that came, which her son Charlie wasn't able to receive, it is closing these wounds that are otherwise wouldn't close, but it is not a cure. It helps with quality of life, and it's another Band-Aid to use
Right.
maybe not the right
Sorry,
word.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Miley does use Vyjuvik as well, and it helps extensively on things that would never even get smaller, and they are. So we're hoping that it closes up, the wound. So
yeah.
So we're talking about that inflammation that affects joints and walking and bone pain. So it's not just skin. Just healing wounds helps her whole body all around to feel better.
I didn't know this would be all happening till my friend told me, and I was really excited. They did a good job.
The idea behind it started earlier than that, and really haven't been involved with the cause for over 10 years. It started as an idea just to get people together, get the community together. A lot of the families, even though they had shared stories and shared information and supported each other, they may never have had met previously before 2 years ago when we created this kind of EB summit in Seattle with doctors, researchers, genetic engineers, donors, families, all to kind of come together, share stories, get to meet for the first time, and then based on playing music at night, that was my job. So we filmed it, and here we are now, being able to tell the story of that, not just that weekend, but the power of community and the power of hope in all the work that the scientists and doctors are doing, because there's so many positive things potentially on the horizon. Well, their strength and courage, and your mom, Michelle, Lily, you guys having the courage to tell that story and be interviewed and tell the story of just say hi and share with it, that's inspiring to me. So I learn a lot from Eli, and I love their whole family, and it's all we could do to just pledge our support.
I'm glad that he made a song for me.
Very exciting, very fun. I'm so ready.
And what about you?
It's very cool and
They
exciting.
came all the way from San Diego, so that's a long trek.